Well, hey everybody, it's Romania Black, and we are on episode 11 of Ace of the Diamond Act 2, Season 2, and we may be down to like the last 3 episodes before the cour ends. I don't know. I don't think anybody knows. I don't think anybody knows at this point when the season is officially going to end. I think they're just like, well, we'll get to 13 episodes and see what happens. So, but I do think that by the time we get to episode 13, we will have finished the semifinal game because we're already to the 8th inning and it's still 1-0. But Haruichi's up to bat, and that cliffhanger last week was stupid. Stupid in the best way. Like, just, it was one of those cliffhangers that I was like, now I get what y'all were saying when I was watching 3 episodes at a time to get through seasons 1 and 2. I get what y'all were saying. Y'all were like, you're spoiled, Romania, because you don't have to deal with the cliffhangers. You get to go right through them. And I was like, what are you talking about? Now I get it. Now I get it. The only comment that I do have, I did want to talk about, Kelsey over on Patreon for episode 10 said, I think what's really cool about Katioka as a coach is that he's all about giving his players confidence. He doesn't want to do anything that might make them doubt themselves. So when it comes to Mochi stealing, he knows that if he had changed up his orders to always go for next base, it would make Mochi think that Katioka doesn't think he can do it and would decrease his own confidence in his ability. Katioka knows that mistakes will happen, players will be a little lax on things or take things for granted, and things will happen, but by continuing to stay on the same orders, he's saying as long as they learn from it, it's totally fine. I love that. Yeah! As a coach for a competitive team myself, I really appreciate Katioka in a lot of ways, and I kind of want to draw like inspiration from him because he does handle things so well, and he does make really smart decisions, and he's very consistent. Like, right or wrong, he's like, this is how Seidou works, this is what we got to do. And a lot of times, you know, groups change. Like, your groups that you have that play will evolve and change and be different every year, but as long as you stay consistent on your coaching strategy and what works for you and what makes you successful, then people can adapt, and it just establishes a legacy with your team that makes you successful. So yeah, I love that. But yeah, awesome. Well, I'm really excited to dive into this episode and see what we get, especially after that dang cliffhanger. But before we start, I want to give a very quick shout out over to 2 tiers on my Patreon. If you are my Patreon, thank you so much. Y'all are awesome. If you're watching this on YouTube and you are not on my Patreon, you are welcome to check it out if you want to join. If you don't want to join, you don't have money for it, totally understand. Do me a favor, because for free, you can subscribe and like the videos on the channel, and you can comment whatever you want to comment as long as it's kind and fun, I guess. But you can do that for free, so please support the channel. But our commission tier members for the month of June are Sunspots, Zachiel, Username123, and Jason N. They donate a lot to commission things on the channel, and they're amazing people. And then the philanthropy tier over on Patreon, they donate a little bit extra each month that they don't have to, but they do because they want to support the channel, and that's amazing. So thank you to Alexandra Q, Be Happy, Dana, Alex Cornejo, Violet Stardust, Biadubi, Destiny Marie, Diana Williams, Daniel Devorin, Damage3245, Eric Fisho, Ichu, Ghostly Turnip, James, Jessica Cullen, as well as Lyndon, Elfreya, Murphy, Nicholas, Poppy, Rast, Jack Witt, Rose Jennison, Sugamom, Shimoyama, Translucent Men, Yanin, Zero Anti-Zero, My Chua Her, and Chewy. You all are amazing, and I greatly appreciate it. All of my love. So yeah, let's get into this. We are going to start episode 11 of Ace of the Diamond and see what we get. And we are going to do that here in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Oh, it's so good. It's such a good episode. Oh, man. Oh, that might be the best episode of the season. That might be the best episode of the season. Episode 9 was really good, but that one might be the best. I knew that Haruichi hit it, but I didn't remember, like, if Haruichi was the one that, like, got all the runs and did, like, in my head, I was like, okay, Haruichi either gets out or makes a home run and gets him and Mochi home, and that's how they get up to 2, or he gets out, but then Mochi gets home. I was like, there was 4 or 5 scenarios in my head of like what was going to happen, but I couldn't remember exactly which one it was, because I know that they get to 2 runs in an inning. I knew going into this season, I was like, okay, at one point they get to 2 runs in a season, in an inning, but I don't know which inning, and I don't remember how it happens. I just know that they get to a 2-1 score going into the last inning. And so this was a lot of fun walking in and talking about it with y'all, and we need to just debrief before we get to the penultimate episode next week of The Core. But here in 3, 2, 1, you know it's a good episode when the recap is 30 seconds long. Period. Like, they just did what they needed to do. They were like, yep, here's what happened. In case if you forgot from last week, Haruichi was like, wait for me, Asian-kun, like it's a freaking shonen manga. And then we have our OP. I was like, thank you. So, this episode was so good. My only complaint is that we don't see the moment that Haruichi hits the ball. It just is like, boop, gone. I was like, couldn't show us that. And maybe the manga doesn't, but that was my only complaint, was that like that and one tiny little other thing, but that thing is more fun. And when we get to it, I'll tell you all. But like, that was my only complaint with the episode. Everything else was perfect. And so this was by far the best episode of the season so far. It was so good. And honestly, I think it should be noted that Takami and Amahisa, they are carrying this team. Hoshida and Shimaru are like right there along with them in terms of batting, because Shimaru and Hoshida have been like solid batters that have done the most for Ichidai. But their outfielders were not pulling their weight. I'm sorry, but their outfielders let a lot of mistakes happen, let a lot of things go. If I were the coach, I don't know if I would be putting all the pressure on Amahisa, because Seidou's whole thing is that we all work together, and if Sawamura or Furuya or Nori can't get it done, the outfielders and the other players are going to back him up and do it for him. And that's been kind of one of Seidou's biggest strengths. And Inashiro is kind of the same way. They're like, we all are fine oiled machines in every part that we play on the field, so that if one person lags, the other person can make up for it. Ichidai and Yakushi seem like they fall into the same pattern of, we've got an amazing batter or an amazing pitcher, or, you know, mainly those two, because Sanada's an amazing pitcher, Amahisa's an amazing pitcher, Raichi and Hoshida are amazing batters. But then their outfielders and their other basemen, it's kind of like, they don't pick up the slack. Like when Takami threw last episode and the guy like missed Mochi, and Takami was like, really? Like, I just, you know, and it really starts to show. So if I was the coach, I'd be like, my boys, why ain't you backing up Amahisa here? Amahisa takes a lot of the pressure in these episodes, and I really think that it kind of should be divvied out a little bit to the field as well, because they could have caught that and got him out, and they did not. They missed it, and it's like, really? So, but yeah, Mochi manages to get home. Good for him. Good for him. Well, in that moment, he didn't get home yet. Hoshida almost could have got him out. Hoshida was on it. Hoshida is up there with Takami and Amahisa. I will give Hoshida that. He's like one of the big players of their game. So yeah. I love the coach is like, okay, good job. You didn't let him get home. That's great. And Kosei's like, sure, appreciate it. I just feel like Kosei gets, I'm a Kosei stan, so maybe that's part of it. But I feel like he gets a little undue pressure. I think some of that could be directed to the outfield as well, because they kind of have, you know, sucked it up a little bit in this game. So then we have Shirasu. Damn, let me tell you, Kinjiro Shirasu, what a badass name. I did not appreciate Shirasu until the semifinals on, and then he became one of my favorites. I freaking love Shirasu. I love him so much. And he just really, I feel like he kind of came into his own around this time in the series, and then from here on, he's just great. But I love that they describe him as a quiet fire, because that's really what he is. He's not loud and sunshine like Sawamura, but he's not kind of brooding like Miyuki can be, but he's not like snarky like Mochi, and he's not kind of like quiet and more reserved like Haruichi and Furuya. He's always blazing, but it's like a little smoldering fire Always. Just waiting for a little puff of air to blow it up, right? And they keep foreshadowing. Amahisa's like, man, we better not make him mad. They keep foreshadowing that moment that's going to happen later on. And I'm like, I hope they keep it in. I hope they keep the language exactly how it is in the series, because that is crazy. Yeah. And my ship of Kinjiro and Nori, sailing. I'm surprised we didn't see Rio have a reaction with Haruichi, but we kind of got that last week, so it's fine. And then, yeah, Miyuki was getting ready to come up to bat. Honestly, now that we're, like, getting into this, seeing, like, the pressure that Shirasu had as well is sort of crazy, you know? So, because Katioka, he put Shirasu in this position, and there's, like, I didn't even think about the pressure that comes with it, because he tells Shirasu in the flashback, he's like, hey, you're the one that's coming up to bat right before Miyuki. They know Miyuki is a powerhouse hitter. They're going to put pressure on you, but I know you can handle it. And I'm like, that's so wild, you know? And to put that pressure on him, that's kind of crazy. Yeah. A real demon is glaring at me. They were out for blood, Amahisa. They were out for your blood. Absolutely. I'm with Amahisa when he's like, that's scary. I'm like, yeah, you should be scared. Mochi and Miyuki would mob boss your butt in a hot second. And I just, Katioka looked really great in this episode too, by the way. He looked fabulous. They won't want Miyuki coming up with multiple runners on the base, so he'll take you on. That shot of Katioka, there's some patrons on the Discord that really like Katioka. He looked pretty good in this moment here, I'm not gonna lie. He had it down. Can Seidou tie the game? Well, they'll do more than tie, actually, this episode. Shirasu's just such a dude. Love him. And yeah, everything about, like, I love when he hit the ball and it was almost in the base and everybody's like, like it almost went in, and they were like, oh my God, holding their breath. You'll need a clean hit or our infield will gobble it up. I don't know. The infield, maybe. The outfield ain't doing much, except for, Miyagawa has done his part, I guess. He caught that one of Zono's later on, but they've let a lot go. And so then, don't get hasty. So yeah, and so Shirasu chokes up the bat and then thinks about what Nori is telling him. And of course, at first, they don't tell us what Nori is saying. And I'm like, that's not fair. Stop it. Damn it. I hate when they do that in these series. But, like, Miyuki knows that Shirasu has got, like, a lot of pressure on him. And he's like, keep the inning alive. Get me out there. It looks so good. That hit looked really good. And it went straight back. Yeah, this guy right here, this guy has been sucking it up the whole game. I don't know who he is on Ichidai's team. He's missed, like, a ton in this game. If you watch, he's like, I don't know if he's a second baseman or what he's doing. They're like, our infield's great. This guy's been sucking it up. No offense to this guy. It's a high pressure game. You're hot. I get it. Some of those hits probably good, but he did not have oomph in his step because he did not jump up and get that ball. He did not let it go. And then it's up to Miyagawa to make up the difference. So yeah, Mochi gets home. I was like, yes. Oh my gosh. And Miyuki's like, hell yeah. Okay. My only tiniest little tidbit. I love this moment. I love Mochi, like, running into Miyuki's arms and, like, jumping at him. I wish we'd had a little bit of animation leading up to it, or it would have, like, zoomed in a little bit and we could have seen their faces. That's all I wanted. That's it. I'm not going to complain about it, but I was like, I would have loved to have seen that a little bit more, but it's okay. It's all right. It's fine. It's fine. So yeah. And Amahisa's like, well, son of a bitch. And poor Ichidai, the stadium's like, oh shit, they've tied it up. And this is like kind of a worst case scenario, if you think about it, because you've only got one inning left. And this is before they score the other run. You've got one inning left. It's a tie game. You're in the lead. And now, if you don't get this person, like, assuming you don't score any more runs or have any more runs scored on you, you have to do next inning. There's more pressure for you to score to win the game, or you're going to go into extra innings, and nobody wants to go into extra innings. Extra innings are not fun. That's when chaos happens. So everyone's like palpable dismay is like, even the coach is like, son of a bitch, we had a lead. Yep, Shirasu did exactly what he needed to. And then looking over to Nori, look at him. My heart. And then he flashes back. Now, I remember reading this part in the manga, and he's like, I've got stuff going on at home. So Nori has told Shirasu not about the elbow. The only ones who know about the elbow are Miyuki and the coaches. Not about the elbow, not about the fact that he has a condition that will probably prohibit him from playing in the future. Instead, he says, I've got stuff going on at home, so I can't play, And that is a legit excuse. I remember when we were reading the manga, actually wondering if he did also have stuff going on at home, but it was one of those things where he could have made it work, but instead he was like, no, but and you can feel like him and Shirasu, I didn't realize until this part in the series how much of friends him and Shirasu were. I guess throughout the whole series, Nori had always been so closely tied with the pitchers and Miyuki that I forget that Nori was really close to other people on Seidou, especially Shirasu. Like, they kind of went to school together. They were like childhood friends, and they ended up on the same team. And it was around this time when the new third years got to shine that you kind of you saw that. But I feel like Shirasu having this passionate, feeling for Nori, in that here he is, this guy that's admitted he's probably not going to play baseball after high school. And he's like, I'm not going to leave. I'm not going to have any regrets. I'm going to live each day to the fullest, and I'm going to leave no regrets on the field. Like that moment. And then for Shirasu to be like, he can't play. He can't practice. Like, how does that, how is he living life to the fullest, not being able to do that? And it's like, yeah. It's not fun. No. It's crazy, right? But yeah, I wonder, timeline wise, if this was, I'm assuming it's after Nori's talk to Katioka and them, but I don't know if it was before or after. But yeah, regardless, that shot where he, does the fist bump to Nori, that was the moment I was like, okay, Shirasu's on my radar. He's one of my favorites. I freaking love him. He is great. A nice batting, Kendra. Nori has no clue how serious, Shirasu is taking all of this. He has no clue. He's just like, bestie. That layer of friendship. I just freaking love it. Yes. Yep. Quietly on fire. Ochi is like, well, I'm glad that I pushed him for the heart of the order. Shut up, Ochi. Quit taking credit. Go back into your corner, you troll. Get under your bridge. So yeah. And then we see Katioka where he's like, you're going to be fighting a one-on-one of this pitcher. They are going to put pressure on you because Miyuki is right after you. So he's like, I want you to give it your best go. Give it all you got. And then for a hot second, Miyuki becomes John Travolta, and he's like, it's electrifying. I just had the one that I want stuck in my head. I've got to live up to that. It's interesting. We forget sometimes that Miyuki wants to live up to other players, and that I feel like because Miyuki's so good and people look up to him and think he's such a threat, the concept that Miyuki still wants to be up to other people's standards is so crazy, but it's true. Yeah, and I love that this game in this episode kind of emphasizes that. Amahisa takes credit for blowing it, but I'm like, dude, I wish you'd look at that guy behind you that couldn't catch it and be like, what's up, man? Even Takami is like, it's kind of my fault too. I'm like, you guys are carrying this game. Please don't. One thing I respect about Amahisa though is he respects other players. He's just like, man, those guys are scary, huh? That's one thing about his character I love, is that he doesn't get mad necessarily at the other characters. Gets pissed off. He's like, can't believe they got it. But he doesn't ever dirt talk them. He doesn't talk smack behind their backs. Instead of another pitcher could be like, oh, dirty, and how dare they, and da-da-da-da. Ami's is like, man, they're really good. Okay, game meets game. And I respect that. I respect that Amahisa doesn't resort to that, But yeah, so I just, setting up that tension. Amahisa, my boy. So they established that Amahisa is an uneven pitcher, which I hadn't really thought about, but yeah, I feel like Amahisa, I don't want to call him a glass cannon like Masashi is, but he very much is not. He has a breaking point, and you can see when the breaking point is. Like, when he gets to a certain position and a certain level, then it starts to kind of deteriorate. So I can see where that uneven comment can be. It's not like May. May, you just gotta outmatch May. Like, I'm so ready for May. Like, you gotta outplay the game of chess with May. Like, Amahisa's playing checkers, and he may be a prodigy, but May is playing like 40 chess. It's kind of crazy. That shot of Miyuki, you could feel the pressure of Miyuki's swings. You could feel the pressure. He's just like imagining it's Amahisa's head. Mochi's like, imagine that. Yeah, and he's like, okay. And I do appreciate, like, I could see how Amahisa would get along with Sawamura, because he's like, oh, the game's only tied, guys. You guys are going to get me more runs. We're going to be all right. That's something that Sawamura, I don't know if Sawamura would phrase it exactly that way, but that is something that Sawamura would say. So I do appreciate that. He's like, it's only tied. We're going to be great. I think that kind of like can-do attitude. I love all the people in the rest of the team's like, oh, you're putting pressure on us now? What? But that is something that's like very, very Sawamura coded. I love that Mochi's still going on about his run, and Sawamura's like, you did it, Mochi. And he's like, da, 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 da. He's like a little, like, just cheetah on crack. Mm-hmm. Yep. And then Miyuki coming to break. Miyuki coming up to bat saying they want to completely break Amahisa. Yes, indeed. That was the goal. Damn, Miyuki looked great this episode. They were like, we're going to take that shot there. Miyuki, like, looking straight at Amahisa, being like, bring it. Bring it. Oh, man, that is so freaking good. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So, the rest of this episode is really focused on Miyuki, which, as it should be, he is our captain, our cleanup, and our catcher. So, the fact that everybody was like, wait a second, I had forgot about this. And they all decided to play Yuki's theme song. I also shout out to the band in this match, because the idea of being a band at these games where it is sweltering hot and you have to play like all these multiple theme songs throughout the entire game. Shout out to you all. That sounds crazy. That sounds so crazy. Like, what? Wild. Absolutely wild. But yeah, Lupin the Third's theme. I've not watched Lupin the Third, but I know what it's about, because it's kind of like one of the most popular series in Japan. So like, if you know anything about anime, you at least have to know what Lupin looks like. But I love just the theme of Yuki as the former captain, catcher, clean. Well, no, he wasn't a catcher. He was captain and cleanup. But the idea of Yuki and his legacy passing on to Miyuki, that was such a beautiful moment. And Miyuki was so excited. He was like, yes. Like, if anything was going to pump him up more, it was that little surprise. And then I loved that they were like, just, Miyuki was so happy. He's like, finish it, Miyuki. Finish it. I loved that. And the thing is, Amahisa doesn't get it. Amahisa's like, well, I'd be mad if they replaced my song with somebody else's. He doesn't get that Miyuki and Yuki have that connection, right? He doesn't understand. Also, as soon as he said that, I thought of Miya Atsumu from Haikyuu, and I'm like, you know what, Amahisa, you and Atsumu might get along pretty well, surprisingly enough. But yeah, that shot of Miyuki, he's so happy. He's just like, yes, my team is supporting me. I have their strength. Like, this is amazing. And the cut back to Sawamura, shut up. Shut up. In fact, this episode is called As a Partner. And him just being like, looking over and saying, if you can't hit it, I can use casual speech with you for a while. There was some gutter minds going on when that was going on in the reaction. And him saying, your pitching's been incredible. This has been your best game. It'll take us into the future. I love that this is the moment in my mind. Like, I feel like Miyuki has always loved pitching with Sawamura. He's loved being a battery with him. But I feel like the semifinal game showed Miyuki that they have a future, and that he's like, we could, this pitching is going to take us into the future. It's going to take us to nationals and potentially beyond, which is crazy because Miyuki is going to be graduating a year before Sawamura. So we're going to talk more about that in potentially the last episode. But like in this moment, he's like, I have to live up to it. The idea that Miyuki wants to live up to Sawamura's greatness is so crazy because Sawamura has been viewing Miyuki the entire series as if he's on a pedestal. And for this moment, Miyuki to admit that he's like, I need to get back to your level. I mean, y'all, like that, like Misawa agenda on full blast. He looks so good there. And Amahisa's like, I don't know what's going on, but he's like, something's happening. And so he tries to keep Shirasu from stealing. At the plate is Seidou Slugger, currently hitless this game. Well, hitless no more. The tension in this moment was crazy. And for them to suggest walking Miyuki is, I don't blame them. I really don't blame them for wanting to walk Miyuki because if Miyuki hits it, it could be gone. But that is risky in itself to like possibly have the bases loaded by the third person. That was a risky move. But the idea that like it might be better to walk him and then get the next batter out. Meaning they didn't have any faith in Zono. The shade on Zono. The shade. They were like, we can get him out. Poor Zono. But yeah, I know it's hard, but we'll have to endure it. Yep. And the coach saying, come back to us, Amahisa, my boy. I feel like the coach thinks that Amahisa's kind of like a little off this inning and has been off, and he's not wrong. But Amahisa, I think, is just getting wore out, like from pitching so hard this game. And they just bring it, like, to the first ball being a strike. That's such a good shot of Amahisa. They kept being like, this fastest pitch so far now. I'm not surprised. He's been pitching around 151 kilometers, like, most of the game, which is impressive. Don't get it wrong. But yeah, damn. Shirasu's like, he's not giving me any openings. And so then he gets a couple balls. Now, those balls were designed, Takami wanted those, right? To make it get about as tense a count as you can make it. He's like, I'll accept it. This feeling that it won't go the way I want it. I think it's interesting that Amahisa, he connects Miyuki's tenacity with that of Raichi and Sanada. I wish, Sanada's been watching this game. We get like the one screenshot to remind us that he's standing there watching. I wish Sanada knew how much Amahisa revered Yakushi and thought they were worthy opponents. Because I don't know if Sanada believes that right now, but like, if Sanada could peek into Amahisa's mind and see that he has real estate there, living rent-free, I think that might change his opinions about things. But it's one of those things you never know, right? You never know what other people are thinking about you as opponents. But yeah, it goes foul. Count is 2-2. And then that one shot where he wanted Miyuki to swing so bad. He was going to make it a ball, but he wanted Miyuki to swing for it. And the slow-mo, and as it comes down, and Takami's like, okay, it's 3-2. And Yuki's like, I saw it. I can hit it. He's like, I can even see the rotation. And here's the thing, as Yuki is still on fire. Here's the thing. The coach was like, you can finish this with a ball. You can finish it with a ball. You can walk him. It's a full count. Let's not get hasty. Let's not get risky. It's like, on the one hand, you're like, Amahisa, now is not the time to test Miyuki. But on the other hand, he's like, my pride as a pitcher. How could I not go all or nothing? How could I not gamble with it? He's like, how could I not try? Like, he's like, I don't want to just walk this guy because it's strategic. I want to get him out, or I want him to swing. He's like, my pride as a pitcher, my ego. He's like, I can't stop it. And then, damn, everything slows down. The moment everything slows down and everybody's just like waiting to see how it's going to go, you know he's going to make contact. You just knew. I loved that shot where you couldn't even see Miyuki. It was just like Takami about to catch the ball. Like, you could just see it. I love that Miyuki's not even in that shot. And then he hits it. Damn. Ah! And that shot, that is the end of a manga chapter, I believe. I actually have the card for it. Over here. I noticed it after I got done reacting. I like moved around. I was like, oh, I've got the card of Miyuki hitting it. Like, that's one of my favorite shots of him. I wish they'd zoomed out a little bit more. I wish they'd zoomed in on Mochi and Miyuki hugging, and I wish they'd zoomed out to show him hitting that just a sec more. If you haven't read the manga chapter for this, go find it, read it. It's great. And then, again, the outfield for Ichidai. Miyagawa, I know you're the only dude out there, man. I know you're struggling. You are in the trenches, trying your hardest, but it did not go. It did not go. It bounced. It made it past him. I mean. And so Shirasu makes it home. And Miyuki sliding all suavely into second base there. That's the job of the cleanup man. Yeah. Yep. I love that, like, Nori is cheering and Furuya's just like, yes. Furuya ain't gonna raise that hand up in the air. Like, he just doesn't care. He's not gonna do that. And then Sanada acting too cool for school, waiting for divorce court to start. Like, just over there. Like, dude, come on now. If I was the coach, I would have that expression too. I'd be like, son of a bitch. Because now they're leading by 1. We have 1 inning left. We have 1 more time to bat. That's a lot of pressure. If we don't get it, it's not going to work. Damn. Nope. Okay, if I'm remembering correctly, and I'll find out next week for sure, but I think I want to say, because at the top is Seidou pitching at the top, if Sawamura can keep them from scoring next episode, the game's over. Because there's no way, because even if Seidou goes back to bat again, they can't lose points. So as long as he can defend it in the last inning at the top and get those 3 outs, as long as he can do that, then they've won the game. Right? Correct? I think that's correct. Then that's what makes it so good that Miyuki won that coin toss, because that enabled them to have a chance to just shut out the game. Be like, hey, nope, we're good. We're all good. It really, if you get to be the bottom of the inning, you kind of have the advantage because you can stop the game quick before your last inning, or if you're behind, you get 1 more chance to get it almost. So yeah, I feel like we're going to have the game over probably next week. If we don't get the game over next week, it's going to end on a cliffhanger, and then episode 13 is going to end the semifinal game, and we'll have the aftermath. But I kind of want a whole episode for the aftermath, so we'll just see what happens. But I'm getting ready to go on a trip, and thank God I'm going to be able to see episode 12 before I go on my trip. Thank goodness. That would have sucked. Now, if it ends on a cliffhanger, then it's really going to suck. It's going to be really bad. But I'm hoping that's not the case. But this here of Miyuki smiling, you should smile, sir. You should smile. You got to run in. And then, I'm sorry, this moment here where he looks over and Sawamura's like, Captain Seidou. And he's cheering for him. And it's not a blush necessarily, but it kind of is. And then Miyuki is like, looks back and says, what does he say there? He's like, sorry for the wait. Shut up. Quit being cool. Stop it. Stop it, sir. God, these two. I love them. And of course, Sawamura has to take it 1 step further because he is the most extra. He's like, that's Kazuya Miyuki. That's our captain. He's the next Lupin. Like, he has to take it even further. And Miyuki's like, okay, you don't have to keep going anymore. I love it. So poor Zono. Zono comes up to bat and he's crying because he's like, I can't see with tears in my eyes. Like, he's crying because his team's in the lead now and everybody's come through and he's a 3rd year and all the emotions are hitting him. We love to see some healthy masculine emotion portrayed in sports anime. Thank you, show. Thank you. I feel for Zono because he came on there like you want it to go well. Everybody's cheering for him. He knocks it out of the park. He manages to hit it on the first try, which is crazy, but then it pops up and Miyagawa, who's like 3rd time's a charm, finally, he's like, I'm going to catch this stupid ball. Miyagawa is MVP. Miyagawa, Hoshida, Chimaru, Takami, and Amihisa are I think, in my opinion, the best players on the team. Everybody else, who are you? Just Sakaki's hot. That's like it. Yeah, number 6, you have no right. Number 6, you've let so much slide. Dude. Saved by an amazing play in the field. I feel for Amihisa because I do not think he deserves, like, a lot of tit for tat. Like, he just, he's been pitching a damn good game. And then, I love that shot of Miyuki and Shirasu fist bumping. Yes, as they should. As they should. And so, in this moment, Sawamura is questioning. Everybody's getting ready. And Kataoka calls him over. I do feel really sad that Sawamura has some, like, PTSD when he looks over and sees Furuya, like, practicing. I feel bad that in this moment, Sawamura... That was a rough time. I was like, I was not prepared for us to go back to that game. That game was a rough time. I didn't like that at all. Because Furuya getting subbed out for Sawamura in the final inning, I was like, damn it. Like, I hated that because he was the ace. And Sawamura is trying to talk down, being like, okay, maybe it won't happen. Like, there's only one inning left. Am I going to get replaced? Are they going to let me, like, pitch out the game? And Miyuki, you can tell Miyuki's like, is this going to cause a ruckus? Miyuki's like, is this what Kataoka's saying? Is this going to cause Sawamura to get dejected? Is it going to cause the whole team's riding on a high? Is this going to ruin the mood? Like, I'm Miyuki with my hands on my hips too. And then Kataoka's like, you're the ace. Finish it. And I love that everybody's like, Oshi, he's like, I don't know. The pitch count 102 for 8 innings is not bad. Your pitching enabled us to turn this around. You're the ace. Finish it. Kataoka being a pitcher, I love that because he knows what Sawamura is going through. He knows what that feels like. And he's like, you got us here. Let's go. I love that so much. And he's like, oh, I thought you were going to sub me out. And he's like, really? Like, for real? I thought you might sub me out. And he's like, why would you think I would do? I love he's like, don't think of that of me. Do you have so little trust in me? And Miyuki's like, okay, good. Sawamura's in good spirits. Nice. Furuya's like, I'm over here ready to go. You've lit a bright fire in my Seidou soul. The Seidou soul on the hat at the same time. Brilliant. Brilliant. I'll be back soon, boss. I love it. Everybody's all geared up. And it's like, we got one more inning. Let's get this done. And Chris being like, Sawamura's going back on the mound. He's like, finish this. I love that. There was a shot at Chris this episode that looked amazing. I don't exactly remember when in the episode it was, but he looked fantastic. I was like, oh my God, love it. But yeah, and then there we go. There's our boys ready for one more inning. Oh my God. I am really excited to see episode 12. This episode was fan-freaking-tastic. I loved it. All the build-up, everything. I want to hear y'all's thoughts about this episode and what y'all thought as well. This was chef's kiss. So good. And I really can't wait to see what we get next week. I'm glad I get to see it for my trip because otherwise I was going to be really sad. So, And when I get back from my trip, then I get to watch episode 13. So, huzzah. In any case, I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe. Take care. I'm so excited, and I cannot wait to see what happens in the penultimate episode of Ace of the Diamond. And I'll see you all then.